Hello everyone, it's Sentypes, and unfortunately I have some very bad news for all of you today. It may not look like it's too bad, but if you look at it, it's the Pokemon TCG Live online client is going to launch. It's a global beta, and this may look good, and I believe it's today. I talked to someone who is trying to do it, and it doesn't actually work yet. But so this immediately looks good at first glance because it's like finally. So this thing's been like rotting in development before the global beta for like a year now. They said it was going to come out like last year, I think, and it obviously hasn't. It's been quite a while, but like it looks good that it's finally coming out. But I'm starting to say that it's not. Like it was really in horrible shape when they first like told us about it a year ago, which is fine. It doesn't need to be ready to be developed or ready to be out for everyone immediately, but we figured they'd have something decent to present to us within a few months, but they didn't. So it's been a year, and the games may be playable, but it's really, everyone was like, this needs more improvement before it's given the global, like the actual beta. You could argue that the local betas for certain regions was like the true beta, but this is like the full beta, and it hasn't really been improved too much. They released one update that increased the rewards, which is cool, but and they've patched a few horrendously bad gameplay issues. There's one that just caused the game to like instantly end, and there's another one that like allowed you to set up something in turn 2 that would just like instantly win you the game, and some like absurd stuff like that. Like the rules didn't work right. They've patched out, I think, some of those. I don't even think they patched out all of them, but yeah. And also you can see the images here. It's obviously very generic, which is not great. As long as the gameplay works, it's okay, but it doesn't. You can see the game board doesn't look. It's again very generic, and this is so surprising with Pokemon having so much like well-known figures. Obviously, the cards are super interesting looking, but then the board is just so bad. It's the same thing they've done with Pokemon Unite, which is unfortunate. You see the cards, like the quality of this card isn't readable. I'll flip to here. And yeah, this is not my fault that you can't read it. It is because this is like horrible. You can't see what's on the cards at all. I'll enable motion. I don't know if this will enable sound. It probably shouldn't. But if it does, anyways, this is really like blurry. This is what the game looks like. So again, I turn that off. But yeah, you can see that you can download it here. I personally won't download it because I'm nervous that it's like a virus or something. It's really sketchily made, so it's probably not very safe either. So I'd caution against that. But yeah, we can see more stuff here. I've talked about Live in the past. I believe I recently compared it to Marvel Snap. And see, here you have the mobile version, I guess. I don't know if this is out yet. I might download the mobile version and catch back up with you on how that works, but I don't have high hopes. I certainly want it to be good, though. But yeah, like these card arts here look fine, but then in here it looks pretty bad. So yeah, you can see more Pokemon TCG Live stuff. But yeah, it's they haven't really improved it. So we see here it's also not in a lot of languages. It's only in English, Brazilian, Portuguese, French, German, Italian, Spanish. So notably, if you're in Asia, you're like in a really bad spot. And that was one of the problems with PTCGO that people were expecting to be fixed with Live. But Pokemon hasn't addressed the issue of the accessibility to Asian players, which is really unfortunate, especially because a lot of the best players in competitive Pokemon are from Japan. And so they've had a really hard time accessing Pokemon TCG online. And that part of that is because of the split between Pokemon as an international company and Pokemon as like an Asian company or Japanese company. And so it's kind of divided in this way, which is really unfortunate for everyone. It says you can like play the game pretty much. Let's see. I haven't actually read this. You can play against other people and build your own decks, obviously. And you can scan code cards, get in-game crystals, which brings about the questionable monetization. One of the main issues actually with PTCGO is it was somehow pay to win, where you had to spend lots of money on these code cards, and Pokemon wouldn't get any money. So they create a pay to win game where they had no incentive to work on it because they weren't getting any money out of it, which is like the worst of all worlds. So ideally, they'll fix that in some way in live, either by reducing the pay-to-win aspect, which they've kind of done, or also actually getting money from it so they have reason to care about it. And yeah, we can see it's available on Android, iOS, PC, Mac. So yeah, it looks like it's playable. You can migrate your Pokemon TCG Online account. A few things to say about this. One, don't do it. I think that's pretty obvious by now, but don't do it. It's not good. The client's bad, and you might like lose all your stuff. And eventually, if you have to migrate, it'll force you to migrate at some point. Presumably, if this ever reaches gets out of beta, but then it will do the stuff for you, so you don't need to worry about that. But then you can't go back, and that's really bad. So if you're playing in the team challenge, I know some people who are doing that. You'll get kicked out of the team challenge. If you want to play in tournaments, you'll get kicked out of those tournaments. So obviously that's not good. And so don't migrate for that reason. Obviously, as you can see, it looks bad, right? The game just doesn't look interesting. I don't know. It says the health is 300 out of 320, which I don't think is accurate. I don't really know what I'm looking at. Sure, it's Pokemon, but the Pokemon are upside down, just kind of weird. It's acceptable, but it's strange. And obviously, as I said, generic art. And let's see anything else. Generic avatars. I want to see Pokemon Unite's avatars. Let's see. Yeah, they look very generic as well. You can see the similarities, although they look a bit more Pokemon. Obviously, you see Snorlax stuff here. This stuff's kind of generic, but then this stuff's horrendously generic. So yeah, you can download it if you want. As I said, I'd recommend not migrating. You can play without migrating, which is kind of cool, but I don't know. I might give it a shot, but I'm very hesitant. So yeah, that's all I have for you. Comment down below what you think of this. As I said, I would not recommend trying it. It's a bit risky. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I really hope you stick with PTCGO for everyone's sake, so we can hopefully keep playing the game. Hopefully, Pokemon learns to care about it. They really haven't cared about it, and that's the main issue. But yeah, I hope it gets better. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video, hopefully with some better news.